Hey everybody, hope you're all having a great Christmas season here so far. I thought that I would get on before we get into the rush of a wedding and stuff actually in the next week. I'd get on and get something out here that I feel like will be beneficial for somebody. I've dabbled in telling the story before, but I want to do it different way, work a little bit more in here, maybe make it a little bit more, go in a little bit more detail, and look at a couple of other things here. A story about forgiveness. I know we all have them. It's definitely, it's hard. Forgiveness is one of the hardest things we could possibly do. But it's well worth it, if we do it. We have to do it. It's biblical. It's in the Bible, like all over it's like all over the Gnostic Gospels. Jesus did it. Jesus told us we had to do it. I'll give the story, and then I will give I'll plug a couple of verses here as well. So in middle school, 8th grade, I believe it was. Yeah, there was this kid that was, well, he was not in the school system for very long because he was not a very nice kid. We ended up, half of 8th grade, we ended up together, and he hung out with the wrong crowds and everything, and we ended up having a minute in gym class where, well, he wasn't really very nice to me either. We had a moment in gym class where he ended up, I forget exactly what it was that happened. Honestly, it's something I've put out of my mind, and I'll go more into detail on why that is in a few minutes here. But basically, he came back and basically told me himself, like, what he did was he ended up like slamming my head on the equipment in gym. I don't remember what it was that was said. Like, there was a lot of stuff that was said. He just, like I said, wasn't a nice kid. But and then he was gone, didn't hear from him for years. Years later, like I said, so this was about 2014, 2015. I graduated in 2010, so that would have been, several years after the fact. Just aged myself with that one. But anyway, I started working from home. I was working my first, I was a couple positions in my first work from home job, which was work from home customer service, actually. I was in a program where I was helping to train other new hires that were coming in, and I see everybody that's coming into the class. All of a sudden, I see his name pop up. Wait a minute, is that the same guy? Turns out it was, because we ended up talking. Like, he texted me in the chat we have going, that we had going. We have a chat we used to talk individually or in groups and stuff. And he ended up texting me and being like, we got to talk about this. We got into a voice chat, actually, and he's like, I screwed up. I'm not the same kid. I'm not the same person, that I was then. Like, I was a jerk. I admit that. I hung out with the wrong crowd and stuff. Like, and he asked me, to forgive him for it. And I did. And I didn't hold it against him really anyway. But he asked for me to forgive him for it, and I did, and we ended up working together. Actually, we became friends. We ended up having, talking about music and all kinds of other stuff, the job, and just kind of hanging out. We ended up actually, the next work from home job, we kind of took that one together. So we actually ended up co-workers twice, and ended up in similar roles and stuff at that company. And we are actually still friends. Like, he's kind of been a part of my life, off and on for years now. And I was actually going to be in my wedding in the next week. So, yeah, definitely do not, don't hold back on talking to people. If you think you messed up, talk to them, work it out with them. A couple of verses here that are big in that, and why I say, biblically we need to forgive people as well. It's in Matthew, a couple different places, and this is all Jesus talking. It says in Matthew 6:14, For if you forgive other people when they sin against you, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. That says if. That means that we need to forgive other people in order for us to be forgiven. I mean, God obviously can forgive us. Jesus died on the cross so that we would be forgiven. But we need to show forgiveness to other people in order to get it back. The next verse in there actually also says if we don't forgive other people, then those same sins that we have ourselves, we're not going to be forgiven of those by God, like basically. So that's, yeah. And there's actually another video where I get into that a little bit more as well. But also says in Matthew 18:22, when Jesus is talking to Peter, he basically asks, he asks Jesus, how many times should I forgive somebody? Should I forgive them 7 times? Like, I don't know. You're asking for guidance on, what's the limit? How often do I forgive? And Jesus replied, 70 times 7, which basically looking into the context of that verse, we forgive as many times as we need to, basically. Also worth noting, forgiveness, and you might be thinking to yourself, well, what if they don't deserve to be forgiven? I'll tell you, they don't. We don't either. It's a freeing experience, and it is something that we need to be in touch with God and be in prayer about, because it's a learned experience. You absolutely have to learn to forgive people. It doesn't just happen, but we forgive for us. We don't forgive for them. Not forgiving somebody can be a barrier. It can turn into a sin if it's getting to the point where it's getting in the way of God being able to work in our lives. But we need to make sure we need to forgive other people so that we can be used by God, basically. Because like those doors that will open when you forgive somebody are immense. You don't know how he can use you even with those specific people. So do not lose hope, everybody. Keep in mind, we need to be the light in the darkness of the broken world. And actually, there's going to be more on that in another video. Got an announcement coming on that. So stay tuned for that. Looking forward to bringing that one out to you guys here. Be light in the darkness of this broken world. Merry Christmas, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.